This is my original video, the video that I have a backup copy of. It's not done with an app. It's not done with a Shorts app, from a YouTube platform. And this is not to, not to say anything negative about YouTube, but it's just it's just one of those things that is, it's part of our reality that that a lot of people overlook these things and they don't realize, what they're getting into really when they use some of these apps. And just because something is making our lives a little bit easier in some respects doesn't mean that it's totally beneficial or in our best interest. Keep this in mind, what I'm saying in these videos here. If you're someone that is concerned with maintaining some level of privacy, well, depending on what you show. I mean, I show a lot of stuff that I want to share with people, but I like to keep some things private, as they pertain to my personal private things. Sometimes I do a lot of design work that I want to maintain out of the public, but for obvious reasons that I don't want those things copied. So that's the kind of privacy I'm talking about. I'm not talking about being private, being nefarious, doing nefarious things of that nature. There are people that do that too, but that's not the realm that I'm talking about. I'm talking more of having control of your life and having control of your work. That you want to keep protected to some degree. So, in making a comparison, in comparing, I should say, making a video such as this one right here. This has nothing to do with a cup or anything. I'm just having my breakfast and I'm discussing these things as this topic surfaced this morning while I was making my breakfast. I decided to post this because I started realizing that great, I've been making a lot of shorts, and they're great because they capture a lot more audience a lot faster versus having a full length video that I have to upload using my a file that I've recorded via my phone or via a separate camera. So it's a lot easier to use the shorts because YouTube gives you that app right available. Just hey, make a short. You can edit, you can do all those things in the app. However, I believe that you do not have control over that file once it's uploaded. You don't have a backup of that. Is what I'm trying to say here. I may be wrong, but I have not also invested the time to research that any further. But it's just my opinion, and I feel the same way with things that are apps that reside in the cloud, because anytime you use an app in the cloud, you don't have. It's not like in the old days. You went and bought a software package that you downloaded to your computer, and you had full control of that. You paid for that license to use that software when you bought, a CD that had that software, and you loaded it onto your computer. So I kind of miss those days. Call me old-fashioned, but you had as human beings, we had a lot more control that way. But over the years, all that control has been shifted to a more taking away some of that control, from people. And so, if you're someone concerned, as I mentioned in my other short video, I'm doing this video with my regular camera as a backup, because I did do the short also, just to make it shorter and also to illustrate this point. But if you come across that, you may want to you may also come back to this video. You may also stumble on this video here that I'm doing it the regular way. I have a backup of this video that I'm creating. So if I wanted to, let's say if this video was a little if it was a little more serious, having to do with my models, for example, something that I want to maintain a copy for posterity in reference and historical reference, I want to make a copy. I want to use my own equipment to do that. And so that I have full control of that file. I got backup, the original file and the backup copy of that file. Anytime you use an app and the app is allowing you to do these things, bear in mind that you do not have that control. When you do things in the cloud, also, you risk exposing whatever it is that you're doing on the cloud if it has to do with design work, you're basically sharing that. If you didn't want that to share that with other people by using the software or by using the app, you're basically exposing that to a lot of people who you don't know who's behind that, who's actually seeing that behind closed doors, almost like the Wizard of Oz, behind the curtain, that type of thing. So that's my opinion with things in the cloud. Now there are times that working from the cloud may be beneficial if you're within a company that operates with software that is or apps that in the cloud that everybody shares, that everybody needs to be on that network. Then it justifies doing that. But for something personal, I don't trust the cloud, and I don't do things in the cloud. From that perspective, especially when it has to do with my work, my creative work, I'm not going to be stupid, to go and use a software that I'm creating a part that I don't want anybody else to copy that part. For example, it would be kind of silly, to for me to use a software that's in the cloud, because that's you. The minute you create that part, the minute you share those ideas right there in that cloud, in that software, in that app, you're basically you may as well kiss that design goodbye if it's something that is of importance or in the case of something that may require patents that may generate some cash for you and your family. So it's things that you have to be you have to be smart about these things. You have to be you have to consider all those angles, and not because something's readily available in the cloud and it sounds good and friendly, it means that it's in your best interest. So keep that in mind. I can't stress that enough, because there are people that are just nilly willy. They give away a lot of the privacy and a lot of the stuff that should be maintained private. So keep that in mind when you're using cloud and cloud-based apps. Even the phones, that use all these apps that allow you to put your face in. Oh, make a cutesy face. Turn your face into a tiger, or turn your face into somebody else's. Artificial intelligence. Nefarious stuff. That's very nefarious in my opinion, because it's basically recording your face. You're giving away your privacy that way. Phones that rely on facial recognition, even fingerprints. I don't use that. That's bullshit, in my opinion. Why would you want to put your fingerprint on an electronic device that can be lifted up by somebody else, some nefarious corporation or entity or individuals? So keep that in mind. Once again, I don't like to live in paranoia. But I like to be aware of the real world that exists around us. There's a lot of nefarious stuff going on. Has been going on, since all these high tech apps started to surface. Artificial intelligence, for example, is I don't totally trust that. It can be, when it's used in good faith, it can help a lot of people. Technology can help a lot of people. It can be beneficial in many respects, but unfortunately, this world is run by nefarious entities, and you have to be aware of that. And if you're not, after watching this video, I think you probably think twice next time you approach these things, or you think about using these apps, especially artificial intelligence. You don't want to be taking your photo and having these cutesy apps, turn your face into something, clean your wrinkles, make it lighter, make it touch up here and there. And those apps are nefarious apps. They're recording every bit of your privacy. So keep that in mind. Mario, once again, like I said, it's something that came up this morning while making these videos, and I myself have been making a lot of short videos, but I also make copies of my for those. This is a kick in the tooth for those guys that create these nefarious apps. Yeah, you're not gonna get me there, buddies. I make backup copies of everything, so I have a record of everything that I do. you should do the same thing. Mario, once again. 1/3 is always nefarious. 2/3 are always the good guys. And it's only a matter of time before the 2/3 really, really show balance, justice, and truth in this world that we live in.